Hi there, this is Annis with Crafty Creations by Annis. This video is part of a series of classes that I taught for the May Kiwi Lane Club Kit, Squeeze a Day. There is a series of 4 videos, the first being a video showing tracing out all the templates and all the tracing for cutting for all 3 layouts. Second video is one 2-page layout. The third video is a second 2-page layout, and the third video is the third 2-page layout. All the links for the other videos will be below to help you follow and find the other ones as needed, and I just hope you enjoy it. I appreciate every single one of you that came to my classes. I did try to keep some of their documentary in it also, so I'm just not talking to myself. I did have to cut out some for privacy and just things like that. I did cut some, so you'll notice some parts of my sentences are cut out. I apologize for that. This is actually my first Zoom class, official Zoom class. I've done one for a very small group of friends previously, so this is my first official Zoom class. It was a lot of fun to do, so I did this series of classes, and it was just a lot of fun. I appreciate everybody that came out and signed up to support me and for purchasing the All Access Pass, and it was a lot of fun. So with a permission, I've kept my friend Joyce in this video. She asked great questions and interacted that I felt would be helpful as you're doing this at home. So with her permission, I've kept her in, and some of the parts she'll laugh at herself. She says that she has a hard time with these, but she is such a good scrapbooker. But she's funny. She's got a great sense of humor, and she's a good sport. So she has allowed me to keep her in this video. So I hope you just enjoy our banter, and she's just a good sport. So I appreciate that she allowed me to keep her in the video. And there was a couple other people that as it was actually without video, I was able to, without their faces and such, I was able to keep it in there, which again, I hope you enjoy, that you could actually kind of hear backwards and forwards their questions and comments, because I feel it helps with you kind of knowing what's going on when you're doing the pages. So enjoy the videos. If you have any questions, please put the questions right in the bottom of the YouTube comments for this particular video. That way I can answer you right there. But if you're asking that question, guaranteed somebody else is thinking the same thing. So if I can answer it right there, then hopefully that will answer it for somebody else that comes across that same situation. So enjoy the videos, and I am working on more upcoming classes. So be sure to jump onto my Facebook page, Crafty Creations by Annis, to see upcoming classes. And again, thank you so much for all your support, and for being a good sport and signing up for my first classes, and just enjoy the video. Do you need your outside packaging? So don't get rid of your outside packaging when you open it up. We need the cardboard. And then you need all the templates that are in that sampler set, and your citrus templates that come in your kit. We'll be using everything that came in the kit. So you have the citrus templates, which we're going to be using. We're going to use the chalk pen that's in it, and then the sampler set of templates, everything, all those templates.
I don't have the sampler set, but I'll just use whatever borders I have. And
Yeah, as long as you have something equivalent, you're good. So you want to grab your lemon paper first, and we are using every little scrap on some of these sheets, so you really have to follow along. We're going to trace everything first, so you have everything for all 3 layouts. So with the directions of the lemons, there is lemons in all different directions. So for you, it doesn't matter which way you have your paper facing for this particular paper. We are going to start with a jug. We're going to trace two. Right now, we're going to trace one. Later on, when you go trace the second one, you want to make sure that it's in a different, the opposite direction. So you're going to have one in each direction at the end, okay? That's the only thing you want to make sure of. We're going to trace one of them now, and then later on, you're going to make sure you flip it over.
Paper.
Right. So this one, you're actually going to put all the way to the bottom. So the edge of the jug is touching the bottom, and the handle is to the right. And you can read the writing citrus. So it is the direction that you can read it. And you can go ahead and trace that.
Side end out.
We're just going to do the outside of the jug and the handle. You don't want it to do the belly of the jug. We're actually not going to trace the inside belly at all for this entire class.
Yes.
We want to save paper, so you're actually going to have your little, what would be strings if it was a real banner, coming off about, I guess, a half inch. You want to make sure you have a little bit of the string on the paper, and then your banners. Just, if we have the whole thing, we're actually tucking them under a border, so you're wasting so much paper. So we want to come up a little bit, have just a little bit of the banner string. When you go to trace it, now this one again doesn't matter which way, if it's upside down or right side up. You want to go ahead and start tracing the top, because you'll notice this tries to move because of all the openings. It really moves easily. So if you trace that top line first, it won't move so much on you. Then do inside. And when you're tracing your flags, if you always go in an outward direction, it will give you really crisp points. If you trace it in a fluid motion where you're actually going around the flag, when you go to cut it, you'll follow that with your scissors and you'll end up just making it rounded just by habit because you're following it, and it doesn't give you that sharp pennant look. So you're better off actually going out, 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 out. And as for how many of these you're going to trace throughout this class, you'll appreciate it. It's quicker and it's easier to cut. Yes, you end up with these little squigglies that cross over, but it doesn't matter. We're going to cut that out. All right. And then once you're done with that, so you'll have your one jug and your banner. You're going to go jump right below that and do another one. So it's directly below your other banner. Again, you want your string is going to be slightly off of the paper on this side. And on this side, you're obviously going to stop where you touch the jug. You don't want to trace into your jug. It's going to come into your jug a little bit, like it's coming into your jug by about a half inch, but you're not going to trace into your jug. You're just going to stop tracing right where it comes to your jug, okay? And again, so we're going to have two of the banners total. Oh, of course, I didn't start with the top. It really is easier to start with that top because it likes to move. With this banner, we have words in this kit, but once you're done, if you like to use this banner for other layouts, Susan Budge created an entire page of words to go in it. It's on the Kiwi Lane Facebook page. So remind me afterwards and I will get the PDF file for you for that. So you'll have a whole bunch of words to use this banner for other layouts. All right. So you should have one jug and two banners once you're done with that.
Yes.
Correct. Great, great, great.
Not yet.
All right. Next, you're going to need your nature number 6 and your pinwheel celebrate 4T.
Okay.
And what we're going to do directly above our banner, you want your flowers kind of wider in one direction. You see it's kind of, you know, skinnier. We want to come up the skinny way because, again, we're trying to use a little, want to spread it all out. So we're going to come up so our words are vertical. So we're going to put that right on the left-hand side and then just above your banners and go ahead and trace your nature number 6. And then 2 of the pinwheels, again, coming all the way up to just touching your banner. You're going to do two, and then remember how I said the jug, you want to do your other jug the other direction. So it might even be easier if you do your other jug, so you know how much space you have for your two pinwheels. So if you do your other jug at the very end with its handle now on the left-hand side, again, you only want the handle and the outside. And then you know how much room you have. So again, you just want to make sure that's the other way around. So you have one, like we just did the first time, with the handle on the right, and now we're going to have one with the handle on the left. We are going to do our Abbey Road border at the bottom. And Joyce or anybody else that didn't have the Abbey Road border template or the sampler set, you just want to use any border that has a little bit of detail to it. So you don't want to do one that just kind of has one lump. You kind of want a border that has a little bit of detail to it. And then basically I would, if you don't have this particular template, using that space that we have left, just divide it in half and just use whatever border you have, use that space. But for us that have Abbey Road, you can go ahead and turn it around so it's a little closer to you. You want Abbey Road 1A down at the bottom edge. So you can read Abbey Road. It's the direction that you can read its writing. 1A is at this bottom right corner. All right.
Okay.
And then once you trace that, go ahead and put its partner up to it. And again, if you don't have that particular one, just use that space. And then you can go ahead now, I would draw all the way across just because we have so much other stuff, and we're not going to cut it off until we go to do that layout. So I would draw a line all the way across so you know later on exactly what you have and you don't accidentally cut the wrong pieces, okay? But you should have your borders, your jug, two pinwheels, a flower, two jugs and two banners when you're done.
Got it.
Got it. Right, we're going to go right to the one below it, which is this scallop. And for this one, depending on, let me pull out my example one. Depending on how you find it's easier to trace. So we're going to get your Cascade Trails 2A and 2B. Now, some people find it's easier to trace like this, and others find it's easier to reach over it. So some people find when they're reaching over it, they can't hold it, they can't get it. So the only thing that matters is if you can see the direction of my scallop, that depending on how it's easier for you to trace it is how you want to turn your paper. So if you want to trace it to the side, then you want it to go with the direction of your scallop, or if you want it to come to the bottom. So it just, you move the paper so it's easier for you to be able to hold the templates and trace the templates. I personally like to come above it, but other people like it on the side. Now, once we go to trace this Cascade Trail, you actually want, let's see, which one do we want to start with, 1 or 2? They only nest in a certain direction. Okay, B. So you're going to start with 2B first, and it's actually going to come slightly off the paper. You want to make sure that both of your edges are on the paper. This edge is going to come off, and the arrow, that's like a point to Cascade. It comes up in a little point, is facing up and is on the paper. But this edge is going to come off, and we're not going to trace that. So you don't, you know, let's do this on the other side, because I have my sample on this side, but everybody really had a hard time cutting it. I'm just trying to think if anything really matters. Let's change the other side to the yellow, because people really had a hard time with this last class. Let's do that again on this side so it's easier to cut later. So come all the way to the top.
So do we now want the template upside down?
So the writing is facing, yeah, away from you. So no, we're going to just do everything this way. We're going to still go this direction. Nothing matters. We're still going to go exactly how we were.
Okay.
So no, we're not going to flip it upside down. We're going to go exactly how we were, just on this color.
Have it off the edge. You don't do the whole.
Yep. No, for this actual border, you're going to use that flat edge. You're using it kind of like a border instead of a fun border. So you do not want to trace that top edge that's coming off. You're just going to trace the one that is on the paper.
Okay.
So you just want to make sure the edges are just giving you a size. So it's just about an inch, but having both those on the same side gives you that consistency and gives you a measurement. All right. So then you're going to take its partner, And if you've moved it away already, you can just use the line as a guide. If you have the template still there, you can use it to put it up to it. And you're going to go ahead and draw another border.
So one is going to have a straight edge and the other won't.
You have it. All right. And once you've done that one, you're going to leapfrog and bring its partner back over the top. Now you're right next to 100% when it goes this way around, but that doesn't matter. We're just using it for a guide for spacing. And you're just going to still only trace the one edge. It really doesn't matter that this side isn't 100%. You're just going to trace that top edge again. So then you're going to have the top one, which has that flat edge, and you're going to have two regular size cedar trail borders.
Okay.
Okay, now we're going to get complicated. We want about half. If it's anything more than a third, you're golden. Templates are transparent enough that you should be able to see that line that you just traced through it to kind of give you an idea, and also kind of on the edges, but you just want it to be about half. It really doesn't matter too much. And then again, you're going to go and only trace this one.
Is that number 2?
Yeah, it doesn't matter which one. It doesn't matter which corner it is, you're just tracing one line.
And we're making it thin. That's the point, correct?
Yes, exactly. So you're just moving it so you can see our one that we traced before about halfway, and just tracing one line so that we have, you can see through it a skinny version of it.
Okay.
And then keep that same border. Don't switch. Don't change to its partner. Leave its partner out of this. Move it down until you have this line as a guide. So then we're at that, and then again you have one that you can see in the middle. So we're touching this one. We're using that as a guide. And again, we now have one that we can see. It might not be exactly halfway, but doesn't matter too much. Just that you have one that you can see somewhere in it, and you're using the one above it as a guide. And then you're again going to draw that line. So you should end up with two
Skinny ones.
Skinny ones that are about half. All right. Everybody's still alive and breathing? You made it through that. That's it. You made it through complicated. I don't know why I come up with half borders. I don't know what my brain thinks. And with that, you're ready for the lemon. We're going to do, again, come along, move along our border. Don't come up here. We're using this entire sheet. So come close to your border, and we're going to do 4 of these. Okay, so you can just come along, and we do not want the segments. You're just going to do a circle. So just the outside circle, no segments. 1, then come along, keeping them close together. 3 and 4.
Oh,
I turn it around just to confuse you, because I'm going to do my pinwheels at the bottom, and it's easier for me to trace them this way. So we're actually going to do 4 of these. Now, the best way, Joyce, to space them out is to literally make sure that one edge is touching the paper, so you don't have to cut that edge. Make sure it's touching the paper and all the way over, then you know you have enough space. You definitely have enough space to do 4 of them.
I think I disliked it so much I might have tossed it in the trash.
Joyce is going to have pinwheel-less pages.
Yeah, pinwheel anxiety.
Get that pinwheel. So you're going to do 4 of these along the bottom. They are upside down, inside out. Just do it all the way to flush to the edge.
Oh, my pinwheel looks like it's match. It did.
See, everybody, you don't have to worry. Joyce is going to take care of anything that you worry about doing. Joyce will do it ahead of you so that you can just laugh at her and then laugh at yourself. Right, Joyce? You got us covered. Poor Joyce.
It's okay. I wear this crown proudly.
That's right.
If I can do it upside down, inside out, wrong side.
And again, you have that whole space. I just did it tight. The only thing we need more is we need 3 lemons and a Celebrate 8 tea. Okay, now the celebrate does need to be this direction because of how the scallops are. We want it to be this way, not that way. The lemon, your lemons, you can put any direction. It doesn't matter. However you fit them on your page, it doesn't matter how they lay. You just want 3. So the lemons you can put in any open space you have in any direction. You just need 3. But your celebrate 8T, you just want 1, making sure it's kind of laying down. It doesn't matter obviously where, just that you have it laying down this way. Yeah, I've moved my paper and probably confused you. I just think I mean, this is a lot of tracing, but we're doing all 3 layouts all at once, so then you can just go at your own pace. How we doing? Pretty good?
Pretty good.
Below it, again, you're going to flip it so it's easier to see, so that you have the lemon segment side up. And for this one, go ahead and grab your paper trimmer. And we're going to take off 2 2-inch strips. So you want 2 2-inch strips. Then once you have your 2 2 inches, you want to take a 4-inch strip. Then you'll have 2 2s and 2 4s is what you'll have. And you want to take one of your 4 inches and just make that into a 4x6 so that you have 2 4x6s. So you're just going to cut it at 6. We'll give you 2 4x6s. So now you have 2 2s, a 4, and 2 4x6s. That's what you should end up with.
Correctamundo.
All right. We're going to these ones, the 2 2 inches and the photo mats. You don't have to do anything too, but we need this 4-inch strip. We need to get our Abbey Road 1A and 1B. You're using a different border. Again, you're just going to split that space. But for those of you that have Abbey Road 1A and 1B, you'll notice it's like the perfect fit. Okay. Any other border that you're using, just bring it about halfway. But for you Abbey Roaders, all you're going to do is pick either one. It doesn't matter. You only need to trace one of them. Bring it to the bottom. All right, everybody good? All right. Okie dokie. Stripes on one side, the other side is like this green jacks. I guess it's supposed to be the inside of the lemon, like the inside of the segments. I'm not quite sure. And you'll need your cedar trails again, 2A and 2B. Now what you want to do is make sure our stripes coming across and that we're tracing. Again, we want our point on the paper at the top, facing towards the right, and we're going to make sure just our edges are on. So again, the border is going to be off of the paper, which we're not going to worry because we're not going to trace this side. We want just our edges on. So I'm actually, the writing's actually, I guess it'll be the same regardless. Let me see. Yeah. So your writing's actually upside down. So you can't read Cascade Trails because it's facing down. Okay. Your point is at the top.
Yes.
Facing to the right.
Yep.
And you just want your edges to be on the paper so it's coming off to the left slightly.
Oh, all right.
And then you're going to trace the edge just how we had before so that we have one border that's got a flat edge.
Thank you. I got it.
Okay, then we're not going to switch because I think that does get confusing. We're literally just going to use that same one, come down using that line that we just drew as a guide, draw another line, edge and one border.
Hold on one second.
Right.
Right. Now you're going to flip your template so that now we can read Cascade Trails, which is at the top, and our point is now at the bottom, but still facing towards the right. And we're going to do that same thing at the edge. We want now this side's going to come off of the edge. We want to make sure our top and bottom are on the paper, and we're going to trace the part that's on the paper again, which this side is not the side with the point. The point is going off of the paper.
Thank you. Okay.
I told you to get rid of that other template, not to use it, but now we need it. We need it for measurement sake. We're going to use it just to space out. Like, we just need to know, like, we're going to do a double wide. So we're not going to draw a line. We're going to place one down. Like, so we've done our line, right? Everybody has that.
Yes.
So we're going to put one down. We're not going to draw. And then we're going to put another one down. So we want a double wide. So we're not drawing that first line. We're going to do a double wide. We want to use the second line as our guide. Whoops.
What whoops? No whoops.
Thank goodness God made rubbers.
What?
It erases oopses.
Oh.
Have a double wide.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Everybody still with me? Not stressed out too much?
Yes.
Good. A little bit of stress is good. All right, now we're going to do a single. So we're going to use that line that we just created as a guide and go ahead and do a single. End up with a total of 7 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we are going to use them all on one layout.
Wow.
So you should have 2 edges, a double wide, 2 singles on this right side, then a super wide, and then 1 single on this left side.
What happens if you have 9? I'm just kidding.
Like I say, then you're special. You have extra wide paper.
Just kidding.
Or again, you thank God for rubbers.
And then stop saying rubbers.
I think
You have
an
to use your- you have
Englishman
to-
invented condoms.
Exactly. You have to use the fact you're British every now and again. You get it, you know?
That's true. You can get away with it because you have the cute accent.
Exactly. I'm the only one that can say that. All right. So everybody got 7 pieces?
Yes.
Apart from Joyce, who has 9.
No, I have 7. I was just kidding.
All right. The next one is super duper simple. You just want your paper trimmer, and we're going to measure how many times?
Twice. Cut
Cut
once.
once. So we had to read, make lemons. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. We want to be able to read that. And we
Okay.
want that part to be 6.5 inches. Okay.
6.5.
So the left side of your paper, 6.5 inches. So if your trimmer doesn't have an arm and you need to do a smaller side, then turn it upside down and do 5.5. But if you preferable, so you can read it, 6.5. And again, if you really, your trim is just difficult, you can always make a mark like this, so you know for sure, like 6.5, make a mark, and then turn it however you need to in your trimmer, just so that you know you have it. 6.5. So you have a 6.5 and a 5.5.
Yes.
Ta-da! Done. Next
Yay.
one. Next one is this one, but guess what? You're a pro. You just have to do exactly what you just did. You want to go to 6.5. Have a 6.5 and a 5.5.
Woo.
Okay, so you can have 2 sheets, one with 6.5 and a 5.5. Have 2 lemon and beautiful aqua pages. These are background pages, so you don't have to do anything to those.
Yay.
Then you have 2 beautiful blue and white pages, background pages, that you don't do anything to those. So that means we are on our last sheet. So for this one, you want to get your lemon, And you want to get your chalk pen. Go around, do one coat all the way around, and then go around the second time all the way around.
I hope this means we're not cutting them.
The segments? No.
Yeah.
But you are going to be cutting segments, and oh boy, they're a pain. Thank goodness for ink. We are going to cut them on a different, we're going to cut them on the yellow card. But yeah, they're a pain and they look terrible. When you first cut them out, they look terrible. They look like they're going to look like little chiclet teeth. And you also need your banner. I guess I'm going to start with a banner.
And slice and banner.
Yeah. Now this one we have plenty of room, so it doesn't really, this one you can have your whole banner on the page if it, you know, the OCD in you makes that, if that makes it a little easier.
Maybe.
If you, again, just start at the top. It helps it not try and slip away from you, but you're going to do 3 banners. Whoops. So you want to do
chalk pencil.
No, sorry, not yet. We're going to use the chalk on our lemons in a little bit. So this one you're just going to do in your pencil. So you want 3 banners. We're going to use the chalk pen to trace the lemon segments. So you do 1, come right below it. Now you do want to do 3, you know, stack them on top of each other because we are going to use the other paper. I'm not making you do as much on this, but when you're done with your banners, we're going to do 3 lemons and also no rush. You're going to do a citrus too, but the reason I want to jump ahead is because I want to tell everybody to leave 1 corner free because we are going to use 1 corner later for a photo mat. So as you do your lemons, we're going to do 3 lemons. Just kind of use like, you know, this quarter, leave a segment free. Don't come all the way across, okay? So you're going to do 3 lemons and a citrus, which you should have plenty of room. And we only need a 4.5 by 3.5 photo mat. So you don't need a lot of space, but just leave some space. So either direction, obviously I'm going to trace over this side because it's closer to me. All right, so when you're tracing your outline, even for your lemons, trace your outline with your pencil because you're going to cut that part off. So trace your outline with your pencil and then use your chalk pen for your segments. And it's easier doing it while it's still attached to the paper because it's easier to hold on to. And if you do 2 coats, you'll notice it gives you a really nice crisp white. But when you actually ink them and stick them down, they actually come out cute.
So you don't, and I kind of missed the front part. You don't trace the outside of the lemon?
No, because you're going to cut that off.
Okay. And we do 3, right?
Yes. Because when we go to cut these later, we're going to actually cut them a little bit smaller than the way where the lead line is because we're going to mat them in yellow. So our yellow that we drew is this size 2. So we're just going to, when we cut them, we're actually going to come in a little bit smaller. So that's why you don't want to do it in the chalk pen because you're going to cut it right off of there. We are going to jump to the your pack of pieces. Okay. Now I want to go through these now because there's some that we don't use. So I'm going to have you mark them so that if you do, as we're going through and creating the layouts, if you want to switch anything up, you know what what you don't even have to think about or ask about. So I'm going to start with where trouble melts like lemon drops. You're going to use your citrus 2. And you'll see it's clear enough that you can see the words. So you just want to make sure all your words are, and there's a little like yellow banner too. So you want to make sure that's all on there. And then just trace.
We're doing
The main squeeze, we don't do anything to. Later on, we will cut it out, but we don't have to worry about doing anything to it. Today, you want to get the citrus 1. And you're going to use the belly of the lemon for where the words are. So you just want to make sure it's all lined up in there. Time to relax. We don't do anything to. Zest for life, we don't use. So somewhere on it in pencil, just do a little star really lightly, just so that you know it's not one you're going to use if you want to use it somewhere later, or set it somewhere aside completely different. I find even I set it aside, it ends up being reincorporated again. That's why I like to mark it, so that either an E for extra or something, so I know it was definitely an extra. If not, I reincorporate it and I'm like, was that one we were using? So did you do where trouble melts like lemon drops?
correct.
This one we don't have to do it because I'm just going to cut it out. You did the squeeze a day?
Yes.
All right, this one you don't have to do anything to. Have a zest for life, you want to mark as extra. Somehow, however you want to do that, so that you know you can do whatever you like to it.
Okay.
This one, which is lemonade, on the other side has all you need is summer. You don't have to do anything to. Best friends, you want to get your jug. And you just, again, want to make sure your words are in it, and you can use them to kind of help you make it straight. Make sure your handle is on the paper. And again, you just want the outside of the jug and the handle. You do not need to worry about tracing the belly of the jug. So I have my handle to the right. I could just squeeze you, it's extra. Extra, not going to use it. Extra. This one right here, we are going to use, but we don't have to do anything to it.
Okay.
Sweetest wishes is extra. For my sunshine, we are also going to trace the jug out. Same direction. You just want to make sure with this one that you get all the little starbursts on it. You kind of forget about those, and they kind of get chopped off. So you want to make sure you have the U, the Y for you, and the starburst in. And then I use the little drops to kind of know that I was straight. Bucket list. We're gonna get a little bit
Uh-oh.
a little So you want to use your citrus 2, and you got this kind of line coming through. I kind of put it as center as possible, but I didn't want too centered because then I feel like I'm got all the space at the top and none of the bottom. So I did center it, not make it just that it was using that line. So you want to trace that out. And then, don't go anywhere.
My hands are starting to sweat.
They should, because I get nervous for this one. I don't know. If you don't like it when it comes to it, you don't use it. What we're going to do is we're going to create like a double layer.
Huh.
So what you're going to do is use your template, and you want to come up just a little bit. So you kind of probably have, I don't know, what's that, maybe not, it's just not even quite 1/4 of an inch, I guess, just a little bit. And you're going to use the top. You don't want to come all the way around, because if you come all the way around, you're going to end up with all these lines in the corner. So you just, what we're really using a template for is to get a nice point. Because I was going to have you freehand it all, but then it kind of gets really crazy. So you want the template to help you get a nice little point, okay? So you're going to kind of do that, and then you want to, you can turn it, whatever's easier. I find it easier to turn it so I can see. Then just do, again, that point. I'm going to actually mat when trouble melts like lemon drops, and I really like how it breaks the colors up. But if you don't like it when it's done at the end, you don't use it. But I like how it came out. I don't know how I came up with the idea, but right. So then once you have your 3 points, you can either use the corner to round it or freehand it. However you feel like you can get a smoother result. I find it's easier to freehand, because if not, I find when sometimes if I use the corner, I come up and I kind of make this huge, enormous lump. So I think you just want really just a gentle, you just need a guide. You don't need a dark line. It's just so you have something to kind of follow with your scissor. And you're just kind of smoothing it out. And you've got this inside line, again, that you can kind of keep that same distance coming around. You count, and I mean, one edge is thicker than the other. It really doesn't matter. They're very, you don't notice it, because when we actually were, as I said, we're going to be matting this one when we go to do it, and it's actually, the one is pop dotted, so it kind of sits over the other a little bit, so you can't even see one edge is a little thicker than the other. So you just want to have that traced out. Don't fear not. Just do your bestest. Do your bestest. Right. Next one is easy. Hey, gorgeous. You don't have to do anything to it. So to recover, you get a break. You can just, that one, nothing. You're gonna get nothing to it.
Okay.
And the next one, when life gives you lemons, you don't have to do anything to it.
Yay.
I know. So I had to
I love that one.
Isn't that cute? I like that. I know, but I like the other side too, and we're not using the Hello Sunshine, so it's sad. They need to give you doubles of these. You need to be able to order paper packs. All right. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. We are going to, just want to check the direction. Yep. Do our lemon jug, but we're flipping it around. We want our handle to be on the left-hand side. And again, just you can use the words to center you, and just use your little drops to help you be straight. You'll see there's like little leaves around the lemons, so you just kind of want to make sure you kind of have them all in there before you go ahead and trace it. But yeah, Joyce, I'm ready for some blueberry lemon punch. To have some pictures and.
Yeah, that was sure nice.
And these words, we're going to obviously wait until we do the layout, because if not, you're going to end up with a layout like mine with the missing letter. So that's it. You survived. All right. So we can stack these ones back up so that we have everything together. And then we are going to start. Now, we're cutting it out. We're going to cut everything in order of the layout so that we don't end up with a pile of stuff everywhere and we don't know which way's up anymore. So we will cut out what we need as we need it.